I hope you're ready for the greatest episode of all time.
That is all I ever reproduce.
I don't think it's reproduce. I think that is a totally different thing.
No, it's because it just keeps getting better and better. It's a constant reproduction. Alright, coming down the lane here. It's a Royal Hogs doing less damage now.
Or just like everybody to know that if you ever wanted Joe to color commentate, this is what it's going to be like.
Terrible.
Yeah, really bad. Are you ready to Royal Rumble?
I wish my day started like that every single day.
You wish that was your alarm clock?
No, I wish that was just what I said when I woke up every day.
Welcome to Cast Royale, the Clash Royale podcast for casual players. I'm Rob.
And I'm Joe. And this week we discuss the CRL World Finals, the December balance changes, open a few chests, and more. Boom.
Boom! And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, clnsmedia.com, or wherever you get your podcasts, we hope you enjoy the show.
Episode 74, baby, let's go!
I am so excited to be back in the recording booth, makeshift recording booth thing that we got going on over here. Feels so good.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Ready.
How does it feel? Right now, we are literally almost 75% of a full and complete piece of pizza.
Is that how you feel? You feel like our podcast is a whole pie of pizza?
That's how I live my life, Rob.
I mean, pizza is one of the greatest inventions of all time.
Right.
So
right.
I can't disagree with you too much.
So it just keeps things positive, you know?
Right. Yeah. Is there anything on this pizza?
Well,
is there like a smorgasbord? A hodgepodge of everything?
I was just gonna say that.
This is like a meat lover's pizza podcast.
I was gonna say sausage and a meatball, but
ooh, that's good.
Well, it could be worse. It could be like pineapple and ham, that Hawaiian pizza. I'm not about that.
See, I like Hawaiian pizza, but I like Hawaiian pizza without tomato sauce. That's the way Hawaiian pizza really should be.
Yeah, see, well, you've always been a little bit funky, so makes sense that you like that.
You're pretty standard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Rock and roll. So, how was your Thanksgiving?
Dude, I almost forgot. We took some time off.
We did, and I, sir, came to visit you. So, I really know how your Thanksgiving was. It was fantastic because I graced you with my presents, right?
Yeah, man. Duh.
Right?
No, but dude, it was a good week. I mean, we had our family there, so mom and dad came. We had my wife's family, so the in-laws and her brothers and sisters came. So ton of people staying at the house for the week. Lots of fun, lots of food, lots of family, lots of laughing, only a little bit of crying. But
a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say pure chaos.
Oh, pure chaos. It was like, you know, in plays and in movies, they have like organized chaos.
Yes.
Okay, we were not organized. And it was still chaotic. So it was literally the most hectic week of my life, yet the most fun at the same time.
It was like a circus.
It was like a circus.
Yeah.
We even had 4 dogs. We had the pets. We had the animals. We had everything going on.
And we had really juicy turkey.
26 pounds of it.
Which, huge props to my sister-in-law for pulling that turkey out of the oven and making sure that it was not dry. I've never had a turkey that was that juicy in my life. And I've been around for quite a long time.
And my life has been quite experienced, let me tell you.
I know how to eat a turkey, let me tell you.
Yeah, no, the food was great. Family was great. It was a lot of good time. But, dude, I got to tell you, it was so hectic. Everyone wound up leaving Saturday and Sunday. I took a deep breath, and then I had to go to work the next day. I was like, man, I feel like I need another vacation from this vacation.
I know, that was a terrible feeling. Going back to work Monday was like the worst thing ever.
But it feels good to be back to normalcy, I'll tell you that.
It does feel good. And now we gotta clash on, brother.
That's what we do.
So, without further ado, how were your 2 weeks in the arena?
Dude, this is probably like the best 2 weeks of my Clash Royale career. Not kidding. This is a big moment for me. After a year
1 year, 365 days, people.
of being at the same trophy high and never hitting it again, I have finally reached a new personal best. I hit 5,207 trophies. I am currently sitting at that trophy count because I refuse to play again. I made it to Master 2, and dude, I am so ecstatic about it. It took a year, but I got there. Boom.
Boom! That is absolutely incredible. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man. I am still using Pompeo's deck, the Pompeo Papaya deck. It is treating me so well. I finally got my miner to level 12. I'm slowly but surely leveling up all the cards in it. My next card to max out is the Mega Minion. So once I get that to level 13, I'll need about 6 more cards to get to max, and then I'm done. So still a while to go, but it's working really well.
Better than I am. You know how far away my log is from level 13?
20 logs away.
20 logs away.
Yeah?
Yeah, 20 logs away.
Wow. Well, if it makes you feel better, my miner is now at 20 miners away too, so.
Ooh, hey, we're tied.
We are tied. Clan Wars. Clan is currently sitting at 3,300 plus trophies, so we are moving and grooving, dude.
Good for you.
But I know I think you were around there last or 2 weeks ago, so I'm excited to hear your update there. But that's my week in the arena. It was pretty good. How about you?
Ooh, I had some eventful things happen to me. Stuff that only would happen to me.
You typically do have the more eventful week, so let's hear the laundry list.
Are you ready?
I mean, I've got my popcorn, I'm sitting back, relaxing, and I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Number 1, I'm roughly around 4,700 trophies, so that's
Nice.
pretty high, all things considered.
Agreed?
I usually float around 44 to 46, so it's nice to finally break 4,700. Hopefully I can hold it. Number 2, I got a bandit from a war chest.
Ooh, the War Bandit.
I know. Yeah, she's actually more powerful than a regular bandit because she's used to being in battle, you know?
Yeah, that's usually how that stuff works.
Yeah. And then I also got, wait for it, a miner from a war chest.
Wait a minute. How did you get 2 legendaries from 2 different war chests within this time frame?
Well, Joe, I'll tell you. I think it basically just comes down to timing. You like that?
I think that's the part I'm confused about.
Yeah. So I think we were off for like 2.5 weeks. I think the last time when we recorded, as soon as we finished recording, obviously there's time before that episode comes out. We finished a war, and I think during Thanksgiving break, I got another war chest from a different war. So ipso facto, 2 war chests.
I like your timing explanation better.
Thank you. And what else happened? Oh yeah, Inferno Dragon from a crown chest.
You're the only person I know that gets like 5 legendaries per week.
And then complains about it when I don't get legendaries on the show.
Right.
Right. Because I want people to enjoy it with me. I don't want to get them alone.
Well,
It's boring. I also bought my last set of goblin emotes. So now I have all of the goblins.
oh, that's awesome, dude.
So I can emote every way possible as a goblin.
That's emote galore. That reminds me, actually, I bought the wizard emotes, the one that dabs all the time, because I'm a dabber. I love to dab, so I basically just dab all the time in clan chat now.
I forgot you bought those.
I did buy them.
Those are good ones.
They feel good, man. I'm telling you, the one where he's dabbing is probably my favorite, and then the one where he's like, I don't know what's going on. That's probably my next favorite.
You ever get clobbered and just dab your way out?
Oh, I dab good, I dab bad, dab a little
Dabs all
here,
day.
dab a little there.
Joe dabbles in dabbing.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. And last but not least, I am proud to report that Cast Royale 1 is not only still in the Legendary League, but slowly but surely continuing to climb up the ladder. We are currently, as of this recording, sitting at 3,675 trophies.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
I knew you were at 3,300 during the last episode. I thought you'd float up and down. I didn't think you'd go up 300 trophies.
I mean, me neither. To be fair, we did lose a couple, but I don't know, man. Everybody is like pulling their weight. We're consistently getting around 30, maybe 32 people playing every war. Everyone's finishing all of their battles. People are winning more. They're practicing more. They're getting more comfortable with making their own decks. I don't know. I just feel like there's a really good vibe in the clan right now, and clearly that's reflected in the trophy count.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are moving on all cylinders. That's fantastic. I mean, I thought we were doing pretty good, but you guys are killing it.
We cranked the volume up to 11.
Decibel level a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But that was my week, and speaking of a lot, we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, we do.
Too many things may have happened while we were away.
But we'll cover them now.
Yep. So we got we got a handful of challenges. We'll kind of try and blow through these because there's a lot of them. So we got a 2v2 challenge a long time ago. I really don't remember what the rewards were, but I think I won.
I don't remember much about it, but I remember destroying this competition.
So. Well, I remember. So there's all these challenges here, and I remember only winning one of them. I can tell you right now that I didn't win any of the holiday ones. So
right. Well, 2v2 is more, that's more fun sometimes.
Yeah, that was a good time. We also got a Black Friday draft challenge, which was ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, this one was pretty sick, right? Because it was a 3-tiered, event, we'll call it. The first tier was you can't lose. The second tier was free first entry, half price to re-enter. And then the third tier was another free entry for the first round and half price re-entry. So instead of it being 100 gems for such great rewards, it was only 50, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the rewards for that final tier included things like a bunch of rares and then a rare token, a bunch of epics and then an epic token, a legendary chest at 10 wins, and then a legendary token at 11 wins. Then the 12th win was 20,000 gold. So you got a ton of gold out of this thing. But the coolest thing was that you didn't have to get 12 wins, like you didn't have to win out in order to get the tokens, which I thought was so cool.
That was really cool. I'm really sad and ashamed that I didn't make it past the first tier.
Rob, that's the one that you couldn't lose at.
I know. I forgot to play.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. How did this happen?
Rob found a way to lose.
I did so poorly, I couldn't get 6 crowns.
It was so bad. Yeah, I wish I played more. I was busy by you.
Well, that'll happen. To be fair, I played once everyone left, so.
Oh, that's true. And then the last challenge, which is actually the most recent one, we have a CRL blind deck challenge. And dude, the rewards, the last 4 wins are one of every token.
And then gold leading up to that.
Yeah, so as if the tokens weren't enough, you have a nice road to victory until you get to the tokens. Then it's just common token, rare token, epic token, legendary token. Win, 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 win.
Right, so what's so different about this one? What is the CRL blind deck challenge like?
So this challenge is actually using decks that were submitted by the teams that were participating in CRL.
That's right, so you know how they had the blind deck challenge that one time where it was kind of like classic deck challenges? They have them in the collection day war battles and things like that. They have pre-made decks. That's exactly what this is. You joined, you got to play with a deck that you're probably unfamiliar with, but that really good people at this game created, so they must work really well when played correctly.
Right, exactly.
Problem is playing it the right way.
Right.
The only trouble that I have with the blind deck challenges, I loved these decks, first of all. Some of them were kind of meta decks, Others were like totally off the wall, totally different. I look at the deck and I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Like how is this a deck that works? But then you play it and you're like, holy cow, this thing just destroys. But I found that this was kind of like very matchup dependent. Less about how good you were with the deck and more about what deck you versed,
Yeah.
Because some of them really, really are hard counters to the other ones, which I guess would be a good thing because then hopefully the CRL World Finals would be really cool.
Right.
But no, I enjoyed playing this one a lot.
Did you win?
I haven't finished it yet, but I'm in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'm doing fairly well also. So I don't want to jinx it. I will say that I'm doing well, but the jinx is probably already there.
Well, knock on wood, Rob.
Hold on.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. So speaking previously of Black Friday, we also got Black Friday bundles in the shop, dude. Like different offers every 2 hours for 24 hours on Black Friday.
Yeah, so I thought the concept of this was tremendous, right? They had expensive offers, they had cheap offers, they filtered through them relatively quickly, and it was easy to get a whole bunch of new emotes, like the mini P.E.K.K.A that is holding up pancakes with butter on them as if it's like the Lion King.
Yeah, I was going to say some sort of holy goblet, but yeah, we could go with Simba.
Either one works.
Yeah, I think so. How about the bomber?
I think the bomber's actually pretty sweet, dude. I mean, he's got a bomb. We finally got something that potentially goes boom.
That's true. And I'm sure Bomber's really excited from my clan.
Yeah, well, Bomber knows best.
He told everyone in the clan that he couldn't wait. He bought it immediately.
Insta-buy.
I mean, you have to, right?
If your name's Bomber, that would be like me not buying a boom emote.
Right. What? Like, really, though, speaking of which, where's our boom emote?
One day, Rob.
One day we're going to get an emote that either says boom or is just a bomb exploding.
Yeah. Can I just tell you one thing about the Black Friday offers that really just like didn't make sense to me?
Kind of rubbed you the wrong way?
Not that it rubbed me the wrong way, just I didn't get it.
Okay.
Normally, and I don't remember exactly when, but I mean, normal chest offers, normal like offers in game, sometimes they do, single value, sometimes they do double value, but I mean, we've had times where they do like 5 times the value.
Right.
Right? Like sometimes 3 times the value. For Black Friday, I would have assumed that they would have done like at least 3 times the value, but it seemed like every single offer that occurred was multiplied by 2, right? Like times 2 value, which I thought was a little bit of a letdown, although I understand why they did it, right? Like at the end of the day, the offers are so good because they include things like emotes and tokens and things that people really want, so they're going to buy them. And obviously you try and have offers to make money and profit, right? So at the end of the day, you make more money off of lower valued items. So I understood it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is Black Friday. This is like one of the biggest discount days of the year in the US. So I would have expected it to just be a little bit more than normal, not like closer to 1, if that makes sense.
That's true. You know what I didn't expect?
Tell me.
Kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
Of course, as soon as it started, the first offer that showed up in my shop was $20. And I was like, all right, that's really not, I'm not going to buy it, right? But like, that's not terrible. I thought it could be worse. I expected something more along the lines of like the $5 tier, maybe, right? To like start everybody off. But then, holding out after 2 hours, the second offer showed up in my shop. Take a guess what it was.
$50.
Nope.
$100.
$99.
Jeez.
That was the second one. And I was like, really, guys? I mean, work your way up a little bit. Take me out to dinner first.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if I minded that, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, if people are going to buy them, they'll buy them. If not, they won't. But I mean, if a $5 offer came up that I liked, I would have bought it. But anything over that, if it wasn't, times 3, I probably wouldn't have done it. But there were, dude, a ton of people bought these. The second that $20 offer came out with the mini P.E.K.K.A pancakes emotes, every single person in the clan started throwing them out.
Oh yeah, they are. I really like all of the emotes. A couple of them are a little weird, like the Inferno Tower doesn't really look like an Inferno Tower.
Nah, it kind of looks like a weird eyeball.
Yeah, it actually looks like the tower from Lord of the Rings.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah,
so semi-confusing.
Yeah. And speaking of bundles, we also had the CRL World Finals bundles, which I think you appreciated the most, probably because they were tiered. So there were different priced options that you could purchase from the shop. So a $20 tier that had a legendary King's chest with a lot of gold, a lot of gems, and then a $10 tier and a $2 tier. And obviously the rewards would go down from there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know me, I'm all about the tiered offers. I just think that there are so many people that probably got great value out of this offer. Like, I personally went for the one with the rare token because I'm working on leveling out my rares. And that one for me was the best value, right? Because it gives me exactly what I need. But the other two I really didn't care for, but I didn't get forced into buying a $20 package when it wouldn't have really benefited me because I don't need epics right now.
Right. And the game actually did something super, super, super cool. They invented or reinvented fantasy football and turned it into Fantasy Royale. And we got free emotes because of it.
And they found out a way to do it within the actual game. Like, we didn't have to go to like a website. They literally put it into the esports tab of News Royale. You go into News Royale, you click the esports tab, and you can literally pick your fantasy team of 4 Clash Royale pros across the regions, across the finals. And once you pick, you're locked in. You get the 4 free emotes that they designed just for this participation, we'll call it. And then you get to watch those players play over the course of the World Finals. And if you picked well, you have a chance to get 1,000,000 gems.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of gems.
Dude, I don't know about you. My strategy for this was literally just pick everyone with the highest winning percentage.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Pretty sure we picked the same people.
That was above like 10 games played.
Easily, yeah. You have to pick those.
Right, because if you played 5 games and won them all, but someone else played like 30 games and won 25 of them, I'd prefer that guy.
No, I agree. Because you need the guy with the experience, right? You don't want to go with the 5-game person.
Nah, he could collapse under pressure, dude. This is high stakes.
Exactly. This is clutch moments here.
That's right. This is Clutch Royale. We don't need no amateurs. And speaking of the CRL World Finals, we just had them this past weekend. Unfortunately, we are recording just a few days before it drops.
Womp womp.
But we will be eagerly watching, and we will be excited to talk about it once the next episode lands. But dude, Clash Royale is doing something crazy. They are teaming up with YouTube, and if you sign into the YouTube app with your Supercell ID and link them together, and you watch the CRL World Finals, you can get loot drops as part of rewards for watching, such as free emotes, potential gold, gems, chests, and various other loot drops. Dude, how cool is that?
I'm so excited. It's so much more interactive when they do stuff like this. I mean, granted, it's the first time that we're ever seeing them do something like this, but I just feel like I'm gaining so much by doing so little, and all I'm doing is just participating by watching.
Plus, like, you're watching pros. These are the top-notch guys at the game playing the best decks in the best and hardest scenarios. Like, I mean, even for casual players live vicariously through pros because we can never do what they do.
Right.
And to watch this and get rewarded for watching it while doing it and potentially learning and getting better at the same time. Oh, and don't forget, you're just, getting naturally entertained. I think it's a win.
I'd agree. You know what this reminds me a lot of?
Tell me.
You know when you go to a baseball game and someone has like one of those t-shirt guns, like the bazooka cannons that just shoot t-shirts at the crowd? Our loot drops are going to be similar to t-shirts being shot at the crowd.
You want to know what I thought you were going to say?
Maybe.
You want to know what that feels like?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a warhead?
I should have said that. We call that a missed opportunity.
True fans will know exactly what we're talking about.
Yep. That was good. Was that it, though? I think that's all we got in terms of news, items, and things that have happened.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Tonight we are sponsored by Robinhood. Hey Rob, did you know that Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free? They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. It's a non-intimidating way for newcomers to the stock market to invest for the first time with true confidence. It's simple yet intuitive, and because of its clear design, the data is presented in an easy-to-digest way.
Yeah, man, I've actually been using Robinhood long before they became a sponsor on the show, way back in 2016, actually. And the main reason why is because they don't charge commission. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge you anything. You can trade stocks completely free, and you get to keep all of the profits that you make. Plus, when I first opened up the account, I didn't know anything about the stock market, but the app tells you everything you need to know. I learned how to invest as I built my own portfolio. I was able to discover new stocks, and I can track the companies that I really wanted to pay attention to. So I really, really, really love this app.
Yeah, man, honestly, this app seems like a no-brainer to me. And what's even cooler is that Robinhood is giving our listeners a free stock, like Apple, Ford, or Sprint, to help them build their portfolio. Sign up at castroyale.robinhood.com. That's CASTROYALE.Robinhood, all one word, .com. Thanks a lot to Robinhood for sponsoring our show. But wait, there's more!
You know what time it is?
Oh, I know exactly what time it is.
It's time for Boom It or Moob It!
Boom it or move it!
So, as always, this Boom It or Moob It is going to be on the recently announced December balance changes. Joe, are you ready to rock and roll this list of changes?
Rocking and rolling, moving and grooving, hipping and hopping, high flying and limousine riding, baby. Let's go.
There it is. That's the spirit I love so much. All right. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Little brother never leads.
But does that mean you answer first or does that mean I answer first?
That means you decide, Rob.
Oh, I hold a lot of power here. All right, I'll read it to you. Number 1, Electro Dragon had its hit points decreased by 5% and its first attack is a little slower. Boom it or move it.
So I'm going to boom this one, man.
Ooh, I honestly did not expect that.
I was hesitant. I previously thought maybe I didn't like it, but I think I like it. I think at the end of the day, this is a really strong card. It's not overpowered, but it's strong, right? And it could be an extremely dominant type of card within a meta. And so to remove a little bit of its hit point, I mean, it's only 5%. You just remove a little bit of the hit points, make sure it's not too tanky for the control that it serves.
Mm-hmm.
And then for everything that it attacks and kills, it just attacks slower for the first attack. So this might not seem like a lot, but just like the Magic Archer had its first attack, made slower, this impacts things like when it kills minions or spear goblins or bats, right? Those die very quickly, so it can normally retarget to the next one really fast. But now it'll retarget slower. So I think that'll really impact how quickly it kind of can be killed.
Oh, totally, dude. We saw, like you said, we saw the impact of that with the Magic Archer, and that totally changed the way that the card worked.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be able to just snipe bats and snipe, a minion horde, but now, I mean, it can be overtaken by them depending on where the spear lands, right? I mean, it's possible that they overtake him before he kills them.
Right.
All right, so next up is wait for it, Royal Recruits.
Dun 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 dun!
Dude, I think it's a buff, but I'm not sure.
I think it's a buff.
I think it's meant to be a buff, which is the elixir cost has decreased from 8 to 7, clearly a buff, but their hit speed is now slower, from 1.2 to 1.3 seconds. Boom it or move it.
I think I'm going to boom this one.
Yeah? Why?
Because for the sheer fact that I still, to this day, see this card played like once a month while I'm in the arena. And I think dropping it from 8 to 7 makes it a little bit more accessible to certain people, especially since when you throw an 8-cost card in a deck, it really kind of locks up that deck. 7's not so different, but it's just different enough where it'll bring your average elixir cost down so you can actually do more things. So I think it'll be a little bit more prevalent. And I think the hit speed being a little bit slower, I don't really know if that's going to make that much of a difference. And honestly, I think the only reason why they did that is because there are so many of them, and you're now making it easier for people to play them quicker. So they balanced the card pretty well, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree, right? To make them 7 cost and not change their hit speed or anything like that would seem weird. So you're removing elixir cost, and that makes them attack a little bit slower. But I agree. I think this is ultimately a change in the right direction. I don't know if this will make them fully and completely balanced, but we'll see. But I think certainly a step in the right direction.
Totally agree. Number 3 is to our beloved Barbarian Barrel, who had its damage decreased by 5%. Boom it or move it.
I'm gonna boom this one, dude.
No! I didn't expect that.
I think the fact that this thing killed archers was a little bit too much after it getting reworked previously. I think for 2 cost, the fact that it pops out faster from the barrel and immediately has an impact on the map and can kill things like high damaging support troops like a musketeer or a wizard or a witch, something like that, because it rolls through them, does damage, pops out immediately and starts swinging, right?
Right.
The fact that it can also do that with archers, it's tough. So I think the fact that it would still have to get 2 swings off on the archers after rolling through them does balance this card out. This card was used a lot, man. It had a high win percentage, high win rate, and a high use rate. So I don't mind this one. I don't think it makes it unusable either. I mean, think about how often archers are used. Not that much.
No, I agree with you. I think the thing that really grinds my gears about this is if the main reason seems like, is that it won't kill archers anymore. Maybe they should have not allowed people to pick the Dark Goblin and raise the hit points by 4% for the archers.
That's a fantastic point, Rob.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of that on my own. No cliff notes or anything.
But that ain't the world we live in.
No longer do we live in a world where the barbarian barrel gets buffs.
That's true. And I agree. So yeah, maybe they should have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up is the Tesla Tower. Its first attack is now faster, so it can switch units quicker. Boom it or moob it?
I'm gonna boom it.
Okay.
Honestly, I think the biggest reason for this change is so that it can handle the swarmy troops a lot quicker. Like minions, minion horde, bats, skeletons, goblins, spear goblins, all of those things!
Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Because this doesn't impact tanks, because once it's locked on, it does the same amount of damage, right? Over the same amount of time. This is just when it's switching troops, it'll happen a lot quicker. I don't know, this one was a little confusing for me. I didn't think that the Tesla was underpowered. But maybe it was. I don't know. I see it a lot in like log bait style decks, like Goblin Barrel, Princess decks. And it seems to be just fine, but maybe this will allow it to be included in more a variety of decks as opposed to just like one specific type of deck serving one specific purpose,
All right, and speaking of the archers got their damage increased by 2.5%, and their hit points were decreased by 1%. Boom it or moob it?
So I think I boom this one, dude.
All of it?
I think so.
Okay, tell me why.
I think the damage increase is extremely helpful. I think the archers are underused because they die to everything. Except arrows. And now except Barbarian Barrel. But they die so simply, right? They're so fragile, and you can only really get great value out of them if you split them up. But then again, you're not really getting great value out of them. I think the 2.5% damage increase is just enough to help them get a bit more value, right? But the 1% hit point reduction really doesn't change any interactions. It's now still gonna, even with the Barbarian Barrel change, gonna allow them to survive the barrel. They still will not die to arrows, and they will still survive a log. So at the end of the day, it's changing not many real interactions, but just they're getting a bit more damage, so take away a little bit of health to compensate for that. The thing that I find a little weird is that they were previously thinking about leaving the damage the same, but increasing their health by 4%. And now they reduce their health by 1% and then increase the damage. So it's just it's weird compared to what they were previously going to do with this card.
It is weird, but maybe it's weird when you look at this change in addition to the other changes that happened, right? Like this change might have happened currently because of all of the other changes that are happening with it.
You, sir, are probably correct.
I'm on fire today.
I'm going to pour water on you.
Yep, you could start by giving me some ice.
Ooh. Icy hot?
Maybe an ice wizard?
Nope, I meant icy hot because you have, you're old and you have body pains.
Right. I appreciate that, Mr. Standard.
Next.
You're up. That's why I said ice.
Oh, that was good segue.
Totally missed the cue there.
Anyway, next up is the Ice Wizard, who got a buff nerf. His damage is now increased by 10%, and his hit points were reduced by a whopping total of 11%. Boom it or moob it?
So honestly, I'm gonna boom this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Totally thought you were gonna move it.
I know. I feel like the Ice Wizard is a utility central card. So increasing the damage really didn't make too much sense to me, and it kind of still doesn't, but if they're gonna increase the damage, I do agree with the fact that they're decreasing his hit points. I think the important thing to note here, though, is because of the hit point decrease, Mr. Wizard now dies to a poison, which previously it didn't do. And when this card is on the map and is using its utility, it can really mess things up for you if you're dealing with one and you can't get to it. So if you have a poison, being able to take this card out just with that one spell is very, very helpful.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. And actually, now that you mention that, I think, it's written 10% damage first, 11% hit points second. I actually think the main purpose of this nerf was the primary change. And then they said, okay, well, if he's going to die to a poison now, he has to have additional damage to compensate.
I see
for
what
that.
you're saying. Yep.
And so I think that this totally makes sense. I think he was getting a bit too much value, too much utility. And you're right. Like, if you can't reach this card, he just causes so much frustration on your opponent's side of the map when he's defending and then moving on to a counter push with that card, which you can't kill unless you have a heavy unit spell like a rocket or lightning.
Right, even the fireball doesn't kill it.
Nah, I mean, of course, the poison's going to do more damage, right, because it takes longer to kill things, but it only died to a rocket or a lightning. I mean, you can't spend 4 elixir with either of those 2 spells previously, fireball or poison, to get the card off the map. Now you can. For a 3-cost card, it's a lot of value.
And this is why I boomed it.
And I would agree.
Mm-hmm. And the next one up is to the Giant Snowball, which had its damage increased by 14%. Boom it or move it.
I'm going to boom-a-loom-a-loom boom this one.
Nice. Tell me why.
I have one main reason.
Yep.
14% increase from 139 allows the Giant Snowball to have the same damage as the Zap. So now you have 2 cards, 2 spells that cost 2 cost, doing the same amount of damage, but having different rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giant Snowball will push back, slow effect, and has a wider radius. Zap has a more focused and smaller radius, does the AoE splash damage, but stuns, but obviously doesn't have like a knockback effect. So both spells will reset their target's lock and reset things like an Inferno Dragon. But only the Zap will reset an Inferno Tower, right?
Right.
So it's like one card pushes back, knocks back, resets, slows down, whereas the other one resets and stuns. I think what they're trying to do is just make these 2 cards interchangeable, right? And the fact that the Giant Snowball has a wider radius is because it takes a longer time to travel and get to where it needs to go. Whereas the Zap happened instantly, so because it happens instantly, it's a smaller radius. All things considered and everything else remaining the same with their damage, right?
Right.
So I like this change. I truly believe that having them deal the same amount of damage and having all interactions be the same. So for example, instead of fireballing and zapping, you can fireball and Giant Snowball. You're literally getting the same exact effect. It's just, do you want a pushback slowdown or do you want the stun?
Right.
Because they both serve different purposes.
Totally agree.
So I'm a fan. I'm excited to see what this thing does.
Hey, Joe, can I keep with the cold theme and read the next one to you?
The cold theme?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Sure.
It's time for Mr. Freeze!
Oh, dude. Did you remember Mr. Freeze? I'm not talking about like Batman Mr. Freeze. I'm talking about like the Clash Royale Mr. Freeze.
Do you remember Mr. Freeze?
I love it. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anyway, the Freeze is getting a complete rework. It will now always be 5 seconds long and deals area damage. Boom it or move it.
So I really don't know how to feel about this one, but I think I'm gonna boom it.
Ooh, nice.
For the sole reason that I hate this card. Especially when someone freezes, like when you're playing tournament standards, the freeze isn't so bad because it scales based on duration, right?
Right.
But at, level 9, 20 standards, it's really not that bad. But once you're in like top ladder or you're just playing people that have level 13 cards, the duration's pretty ridiculous when they freeze your troops or your buildings or whatever. So I like the fact that the duration is being toned down from something way too high to something like 5 seconds. And I'm just not sure how this, at least at the time of this recording, I just have no insight on how the freeze damage will work, right? Like, is it a small burst of area damage as soon as the card is played? Or is it damage over time over the course of the 5 seconds that the freeze occurs? Also, if it is area of effect, like over time, like over the 5 seconds, will it also do damage to things that potentially get dropped in that circle after things have been frozen?
Oh.
Right? Like, does it only damage the frozen things for the 5 seconds? Or will it damage my Mega Minion if I drop that after the freeze goes down? Yeah, I have no clue. I am so confused.
Yeah, see, that's a great question. I actually don't know. I would think, it's just my opinion, so more than likely I'll be wrong, it will only damage things that are already frozen. But who knows? I wish they gave us a little bit more info on this, considering that it's a full rework of a card.
I agree, but I think it's going to be a burst of damage, small amount of it, but a burst of damage that... But what's the point then, right? Maybe the answer is, like, why would you freeze something to kill it? Like, what if it's a skeleton army, right? Or a spear goblins or bats, right? If those are the only things that are killing your balloon, you would never freeze those, would you? But now maybe you will because it just kills them instantly. I don't know.
Yeah, so I would actually agree with you. I think I would boom this one too, just because I think that this overall is a good change. I'm confused as to what's really going to happen.
Yeah, and maybe they're still trying to like fine tune it, right? Like it's not coming out with all the other ones, so maybe it's just they're trying to refine it, make sure they've got it, totally under control. But at the end of the day, you don't really see this card used. It's not used. It's not really in competitive play. It's it's kind of non-existent. So I think any change like this where it's being reworked to potentially balance it better is, what could go wrong?
It's a question I ask myself every day.
Start my morning. How terrible will today be? And the final change is to the elixir pump, which no longer can appear in your opening hand. Very similar to what they did to the mirror. Boom it or moob it.
I'm gonna boom it.
Ooh. Tell me why.
So honestly, dude, I think that the elixir collector being in your starting hand kind of gives you an unfair advantage if you are able to throw that out, especially if your opponent does not have the answer to that card in their hand. You're almost surely going to lose if you're facing a matchup like that.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I agree, right? And also, like, what if you don't have it in your hand, but you have to immediately cycle to your next 2 cards to get the answer?
That's the worst feeling ever, and you're more than likely going to lose, because now you're rushing to get cards out, and you're not following your own strategy.
You're not following your strategy, you're wasting elixir just to get to a 3rd card. By the time you get to the 3rd card, you throw it out, you've already lost the elixir advantage.
And they've already gained another elixir.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying. Plus, there are certain metas, dude, that the elixir collector is very prominent in. Like, for a while, there was the golem pump deck, right? For a while, and that's kind of coming back. And for an even longer time before that, there was the 3 Musketeers pump deck. And those matchups were more dependent on who got the pump in their hand versus which one didn't.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm a golem player and you're a golem player and we both have pumps in our deck, but I get mine and you don't get yours, it's kind of like you're swimming up creek without a paddle. This removes that problem and adds a little bit more strategy to the beginning of the game.
Yep. All right, well, that's it for the balance changes, but that's not it for our grades. What would you give this?
I think I would give this a solid A.
I'd actually have to agree with you on that one. I think these are, overall, all of these changes together collectively are really good.
I disagreed with some at first. I thought you might as well, but after talking through them all, they seem quite reasonable.
Yeah, I think this helps us. It's like a therapy session, we can get through this together.
Right, when I see the balance changes, I'm like, why are they doing that? And then I talk through them with you and I'm like, this makes a ton of sense. You know what that feels like?
I know exactly what it feels like, and I don't need you to say it. Boom.
Tonight we're sponsored by Mint Mobile. Rob, there's nothing better about the holiday season than unwrapping a brand new phone. Until you get hit with a brand new monthly bill. Big wireless providers can really suck the joy out of the holidays. So this year, don't just upgrade your phone. Upgrade your wireless provider and switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering the best holiday deal in wireless you've ever seen. 3 months of service for only $20. And I don't know about you, man, but if I were to take this offer right now, it would basically save me around $70 a month, or just around $200 over the same 3-month period. And just to reiterate, Mint Mobile's holiday deal is here for only a limited time. It's a total of $20 that gets you 3 months of wireless service with 5 gigabytes of 4G LTE data each month, plus unlimited talk and text. And if that wasn't all good, you even get to use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. You keep your old phone number along with your existing contacts. Mint Mobile runs on the nation's fastest, most advanced LTE networks, so you don't have to worry about dropped calls either. And last but certainly not least, if you're not 100% satisfied with the service, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. So why not ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile?
It's a valid question, Joe.
I have those every once in a while, Rob.
So, take advantage of this Mint Mobile holiday deal before it's gone. Get 3 months of wireless for only $20 and get the plan shipped to your door for free by going to mintmobile.com/cast. That's mintmobile.com/CAST. That's 3 months of service for just $20 at mintmobile.com/cast. Thanks a lot to Mint Mobile for sponsoring our show. All right, let's move on to our meta check.
Meta check.
And this meta check is brought to us by our boy, our friend, Sir Devin Lloyd Christmas. And he's got some interesting stuff to tell us about what's been going on in the arena. Joe, you want to lay it out?
Yeah, man, that's right. So our boy Lloyd Christmas, Sir Devin, hit us with the numbers. And this week, we've got some interesting developments in the arena. And then he's got a little brain teaser for us at the end. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so let's dive into the numbers. We talked about the Barbarian Barrel. We talked about it getting nerfed, and maybe here's why. Dude, the Barbarian Barrel once again tops the charts as this week's number 1 card with a use rate of 42%.
Ooh.
So that must mean the next highest card is either the Zap or the Log, right? That's usually what it is. Wrong. The Fireball checks in at number 2, the Tornado checks in at number 3, sending the Zap and the Log all the way down to numbers 5 and 6 at the top of the ladder. They are even beat out by the Goblin Gang.
What?
So long ago are the times where Log and Zap were interchangeably the number 1 and 2 cards in the game. They have slowly but surely fallen back into, not obscurity, but just a little bit. They get kind of like tucked away under the covers for a little bit. They'll come back eventually, but you know, there's bigger and better things going on in the arena these days, Rob.
They're not saturating the arena.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. And you know, Devin puts it so well. He says, "Kudos to Supercell for finding a way to get the meta shaken, because the Zap and the Log were just strangle holding the various metas over the past year and a half, probably. So this is a great and refreshing change."
Yeah, totally agree.
Now that being said, things aren't looking so bright for the other 2-cost spell, which is the Giant Snowball. And that might be why they are increasing its damage by 14%, so this is all adding up. The Giant Snowball has a whopping one appearance, over the last 3 meta checks, and it's obviously faded by the pros. But with that being said, it took about 6 months for the Barbarian Barrel to actually find its way into the meta and become used in the game. And all it takes is just 1 or 2 small tweaks from Supercell to get it into the meta, and maybe this 14% increase will do just that.
Maybe. So, got anything else for me?
I'll give you one more.
All right.
Dude, the Bats have found themselves with the usual suspects at the top of the ladder. Sitting in between the defensive MVP, the Mega Minion, and the Rookie of the Year, the Electro Dragon, sitting at a 26% use rate, by the way. The Bats are being utilized more and more by pros at the tippy top of the ladder. In fact, get this, of the top 10 decks at the tippy top of the ladder, 8 of them are using Bats. Now that is some use rate.
Ooh, that is really high.
And especially when we're talking about a troop, not a spell.
Yeah, that's true. And, a little squishy troop nonetheless.
A little squishy troop nonetheless.
Little flying purple bat thing.
Little Batty McBattyster over there. Yeah, so that's it for this week's meta check. Devin provided the numbers to us, and as always, we will include those in the show notes. So take a look. If you have any questions, let us know, and we will try and respond. Bada bada. Boom.
All right, so now that the numbers are out of the way, let's get the brain teaser / riddle in our scopes. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I love this stuff.
So, I like this. Here is the riddle. I'm going to give you the riddle. Are you ready? Because there's no rules here. So I'm making them up as I go. This is fly by the seat of Rob's pants. Are you ready?
No, but yeah.
Yep. Since I'm reading it to you, you are required to give me the answer.
Of course, yeah, sure. Next time, I'm strategically doing this differently.
All right, I'll be prepared. So here we go. I may be a troop, but don't give me no problems. I'll slay you with one hit, just like you're a goblin. Some say I'm tough, others say I'm thrifty, 'cause no spells kill me with HP 1350. I'm a real OG, a day one, they say. You met me when you first started to play. So make a new deck, but don't leave me out, for I'm part of what this game's all about. Who am I?
Whoa. That's cool, dude.
It is cool. I can be used as a lifeline, I think.
Okay, hold on.
If you want to bounce stuff off me, I can be like your racquetball wall.
You met me when you first started to play. So that means he's one of the original cards that you get after the training arena.
He did call himself an OG.
And so it can't be like the skeletons, because like the giant skeleton, because that you unlock in, I think, the Barbarian Bowl, in like the Sand Bowl or whatever the heck that is.
Yeah, that's definitely not an original thing. I mean, it may be around when the game first came out, but it's not one of the first cards that you have to worry about getting.
I know what it is.
Do you?
The Knight.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Final answer.
Oh, I'm gonna say the Knight.
It's the Knight!
Yeah. Boom, dude. And that's recent too, because he didn't always kill goblins in one hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty good. I thought you would have had it with the HP being 1350.
Yeah, I think that's what did it. I was like, wait a minute, what's 1350? And then I was like, the only reason I know that is because I know that the Ice Golem has a little bit less than that.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I was like, they're so close together now, that's gotta be it.
This is genius.
He is clever. Devin, you are a hero in my eyes.
Yeah, I kind of want to put this on, like, the internet somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, people will hear this when they listen.
That is the internet. Yep.
So we'll just post our normal episode.
I guess I just meant in writing. Maybe we could include it in the show notes. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's it. That's the meta check and our riddle.
That was fun.
That was fun. I'll take another one of those, Devin, if you got another one. But just remember, I'm gonna be the one to have to give the answer. So do me right, bro.
Make him get it wrong, bro.
No.
No.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
All right, what's next?
What's next? You really don't know?
Oh.
We got some chests.
Yeah, we do.
And I've been holding out for this moment to have a ridiculously cool chest opening. Are you excited?
Yes.
I have a crown and 3 big dogs.
Sounds like we gotta get through these fast.
Sounds like it. It also sounds like I'm going first.
I like that sound.
And it also sounds like I'm gonna have to do 2 in a row. You good with that? Sounds like you're good with that.
That's exactly what I'm good with.
Okay. Crown chest. 1,021 gold. 3 gems. Guess how many gems I have now?
1,224.
Where do you live? The moon?
Well, I mean, you give me an arbitrary number to guess, and I do it, and then you make it like I'm weird for guessing an arbitrary number.
The last episode, I think I told you I had like 400. Now I have 517. Do you read lips for a living?
Only on Sundays.
Right. 1 musketeer. 5 hog rider.
Nice.
6 fireball. Still can't kill an ice wizard.
True.
And 58 rascals.
Not too shabby, babby.
I'm really digging that chest. I like it. All right, so since we're living on the edge here, I'm going to do my first big dog. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Giant chest. 2,772 gold. 23 Larrys.
Nice.
What's happening here? 4 Battle Ram. Aren't you supposed to get like a ton of
I thought you were supposed
cards
to get like
in
a
this?
ton of rares and a whole bunch of like commons.
I got 23 and 4.
Maybe you got more.
224 Spear Goblins.
There you go.
Pretty good. And last but not least, here we go. 57 Zappies.
Zippity zappies, don't talk backies.
That was a good chest. I like that.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Am I up?
You're up, big dog.
All right, big dog. Well, I'm going to open up my first big dog, and it's a giant chest.
Ooh.
Here we go. 2,772 gold.
Nice.
39 minions.
All right.
21 elixir collectors, which can no longer appear in your starting hand.
That is a fact, guys.
207 skeleton barrels, which can now kill spear goblins when it dies.
Right.
And 41 royal hogs, which do less damage now.
All right, are you ready for me?
Ready.
Okay, so I see your giant chest, and I raise you a legendary chest.
A legendary already?
Yeah.
What's your fourth chest then?
It's a quest chest, I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Legendary chest.
I hope it's a log.
Spinning, 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 spinning. The Night Witch!
Dude, Night Witch is good. You wanna know why the Night Witch is good? Because so many people use her, you can trade her for a log.
That's true, but I could get her to level 11 now.
Nah.
I don't know, man. She's good in war.
Maybe 11's pretty good.
I need that, especially in Legendary.
Yeah, she's good in wars.
Ooh.
Mine's level 10 right now. I wish it was level 11. You're right.
I traded some away already, so I think I'm gonna keep her. I like her. She's all dressed in black too, you know? She's pretty cool.
Right. That's what I think when I see cards. I'm like, yeah, he's blue and flies around. Pretty cool.
What are you talking about? As soon as you saw the Electro Dragon, you were like, it's blue!
Yeah.
You know it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It happened.
So, don't judge me.
All right. I see your legendary chest and I clearly don't match it or raise it. I downgrade to a magical chest. Here we go. 1,408 gold.
Nice.
6 recently buffed giant snowballs. Go figure.
Ooh.
6 Larrys.
Heyo.
2 more elixir pumps. This is weird.
What are they doing to you?
17 royal recruits. This is really weird. Everything just gets buffed or nerfed with my cards.
I don't like this.
32 zaps. I guess that's kind of normal. Zappies. 16 of them.
Nice.
And 9 lightnings.
Ooh.
Take care of those E-drags that are flying around the arena.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
That was a good chest, minus the fact that it pretty much matched the balance changes.
Could have been worse, Rob.
Could be raining. Mm-hmm.
If anyone knows that reference, they're probably really cool people.
All right, are you ready for my final big shebang?
Let's do it.
I have another legendary
Are
chest!
you kidding me?
No, why would I joke?
If you get another Night Witch, then you'll trade her for a log, right?
Then I will give her away to anybody that is willing to give me a log. I will even offer my trade token.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I hoard them like it's my job.
You gotta.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Spinning, 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 spinning. It's a log!
What are the chances of that? That you couldn't have even wrote that up to happen the right way.
Apparently the chances are like 1 in 16 or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's 1 in however many legendaries there are.
How many legendaries are there? Aren't there 16?
No way.
Now we gotta know, guys. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I was so close.
Rob, close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That, sir, is 2 separate facts that make a really good fact.
So, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I can't believe that just happened, though. 1 in 15 chance.
So that was a good chest opening. You got 2 legendaries. I got cards that get buffed and nerfed. So I'm balanced. You're overpowered. Super Sun needs to nerf you.
Yeah, they do. This was definitely a holiday level chest opening.
Boom.
I'm really impressed with us right now.
Yeah, we do a lot for this.
Mm-hmm. Just hoard chests.
Open in bulk only.
Boom.
Boom.
All right, dude. Let's move on to our deck spotlight.
Deck spotlight.
And this deck is lovingly called Immortal Technique. And it's a 4.6 average elixir cost deck that contains the Three Musketeers, the Battle Ram, the Lumberjack, Barbarian Hut, the Electro Dragon, the Dark Goblin, the Barbarian Barrel, and, wait for it, the Heal spell. So, Joe, teach me some CRL deck techniques, please.
Dude, so this deck is absolutely insane. If you didn't notice from the deck name, if you didn't notice from the deck type, if you didn't notice from just the build of this deck, it is not one that we would ever create.
Correct, because there's a heal spell there.
In fact, it's way above our pay grade. This deck was created by Immortals, the CRL NA champions, which are now in the World Finals. If you were to go into News Royale, look at the blind decks from the CRL. This was the deck that Immortals submitted into the Blind Deck Challenge. So, what better way to keep up with CRL than to feature the deck that the NA team Immortals put in?
I like your style, man. Good choice.
So as you can see, this deck clearly has no pump, has no great way to generate resources, has no heavy or small spells to deal damage to troops aside from the Barbarian Barrel, which only limits damage to your side of the map or very, very, very shortly after your opponent's bridge.
Right.
But it does have one real spell, and that's the heal. Rob, I don't know if we've ever spotlighted the heal.
I feel like didn't we have a deck called Tri Heal?
I don't remember, but I might have just totally blocked it out.
Joe doesn't accept that was a real thing.
Either way, this deck is total control oriented. With this deck, the Barbarian Hut gets placed in the center of the map. Pick a lane, any lane. Your opponent might be forced to use a spell like the Poison, the Fireball, Lightning, some sort of a spell on your Barbarian Hut to take care of it. The problem is, one, using a spell on the Barbarian Hut will not give them great value in return.
Right, because nothing kills it.
Nothing kills it. Also, you're still generating barbarians out of it. So it's not like you're killing the Barbarian Hut and you still have to deal with the barbarians that come out of it.
Right.
Also, if they use a big spell like that on your Barbarian Hut, well, guess what? They don't then have a spell for your Three Musketeers.
Ah, valid point.
The point of the deck is to just continuously chip away at your opponent and then overrun them with split push lane pressure to which they won't have enough elixir to defend against. You'll notice that there's Barbarian Huts, there's Battle Rams, there's Barbarian Barrels. So there are 3 types of cards in this deck that provide some sort of Barbarian to clear the way for the Three Musketeer cards. They act as tanks on behalf of the Three Musketeers.
Right.
So the Barbarian Barrel will clear out small troops ahead of the Three Musketeers so that they stay alive. The Battle Ram will force your opponent to throw down something closer to their tower and focus on the charge as opposed to the Three Musketeers at the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The Lumberjack, not a Barbarian, but the Lumberjack just adds chaos to the mix, right?
True.
You throw the Lumberjack down with the lane that has the Battle Ram and the 1 or 2 Musketeers from the Three Musketeers.
Right.
And it's devastating for your opponent to deal with.
Yeah, dude. And the Lumberjack is a really good tank killer, too. I mean, at least if it's not going after, like, Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. But, like, a giant, a royal giant, things like that, this thing's great against those.
Totally agree, right? So you've got split push lane pressure. You've got the ability to tank in front of all of your Musketeers. You can do so with either the Lumberjack, the Battle Ram, or the Barbarian Barrel, each serving a different purpose. Lumberjack for tanks, Barbarian Barrel for squishy troops on the floor. And if that wasn't enough, you can continue developing pressure with things that snipe from long range, like the recently buffed Dart Goblin, who does snipey McSnipester damage from far away. So you just think what this deck does. It constantly builds pressure, forces your opponent to use spells potentially when they don't want to. They have to pick and choose what to use it on and if they're going to get good value out of it. Chances are they can't get good value with all of their spells on all of your troops. So eventually over time, you're going to build up this lane pressure on one lane. And at that point, you're going to feel that you have the advantage. And that is when you split lane push, drop the battle ram down, throw down the lumberjack, and just create havoc for your opponent. That is when you develop the most pressure, and that is what allows you to not only take one tower, but overtake multiple towers and eventually get the 3 crown. In the mix, in all of this, is the heal spell. The heal spell can be used on the barbarians to keep the tanks alive. It can be used on the battle ram to keep the charge going and ram into the tower. It can be used on the musketeers to keep them alive, dealing damage. You can even use it, Rob, you can even use it, if you want, on the Dart Goblin.
Yeah.
Although, that's a little risky.
A little bit. You got to time that real well.
Real well. But last but not least, dude, you've got the Electro Dragon. Of all of this pressure, we haven't even talked about the control card, which is the Electro Dragon. If your opponent is developing any sort of push on your side of the map and you're out of options, the Electro Dragon is your answer. Use the Electro Dragon, keep the damage away from your tower. You can use the Electro Dragon with the Barbarian Battle on defense. You can use it with the Dark Goblin on defense. You can just use it alone on defense. However you want to use it is totally fine. But just keep in mind, the best way to use it is to keep it alive. Don't put it in such a place where it'll die, because you're going to want to develop an offensive counter push with that thing to facilitate with the pressure that you started building with the Barbarian Hut. The Barbarian Hut is key to starting the push and developing the split lane pressure, so don't try and do it without it. And that's it, man. This is a super complicated deck, to be honest with you. I promise you, when you play this deck, it is a very awkward one because it's not like any other deck you've ever played. And rightfully so, given that these guys are way better and think of things that we would never think of.
And to be fair, they're immortal.
They are immortal, Rob. So hey, take this deck for a spin. Learn the Immortal Technique, but just keep in mind, this deck is not one that you're going to be cycling, card over card over card over card and just, destroy your opponent that way. This is a 4.6 average elixir cost deck, does not have a pump, has pretty expensive cards in it. So slow play, build the offensive pressure. That's why it's important to get the Barbarian Hut down soon before you start, trying to commit too much on offensive pushes.
Boom, dude.
Boom, man. That was a tough one for me, but we got there.
We did get there. Yeah. It was all those barbarians in the mix. They're throwing you for a loop.
Barbarians do that to me sometimes.
Yeah. I don't think you're used to handling a deck that has the barb hut.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you're more of a lumberjack kind of guy.
Trying to 1v1?
Never. I'm never, ever trying to 1v1 with you. Because all you're going to do is use Pompeo's Papaya against my Mortar Mauler, and I will not win.
And I'll just dab. I'll wizard dab.
Yeah,
dab
and I will
dab on him.
put my Larry head back on my body. So this week we have no patrons, but that's okay. If you would like to support the show, you can go to castroyalepodcast.com/donate, and you can see the different ways in which you can support the show, including but not limited to joining Patreon.
Boom.
Boom. And that's it, man. We did it. The start of December episode after Thanksgiving, going into the holiday season. Are you excited for 75 in 2 weeks?
I think I'm not sure.
You want to do it right now? We could just do it right now. 75?
Oh, I mean, you want to just go straight through?
I mean, I have 2 more hours if you want to do it.
I have sleep ready for bed now.
Ooh, you're sleep ready for bed?
Yeah.
You want to be ready for bed so you can sleep? You're so tired. I don't even think you knew what you said.
You say it.
I want to sleep ready for bed.
Why would you say that?
Why did you say that?
Why wouldn't you have just said you're tired, Rob? I don't get it.
You're driving me nuts. Oh, guys, don't have little brothers. And if you do, make sure they're slightly different than Joe.
Make sure they're not me.
Yeah, just slightly different than Joe. I mean, he's got good qualities. Don't get me wrong. But I told him over the last week and a half that his number one quality is that he's just annoying.
Well, I'll take it.
Yeah, with love, though. I love you a lot.
Love you too, man. Boom.
That's all we got. If you would like to join our clan, first join our Discord, join in on the conversation. You can go to castroyalepodcast.com/Discord. We tell all of our listeners in the Discord when we have open spots in the clan. There's also a lot of strategy, a lot of deck talk, different channels that you can post different topics in. And as soon as the episode is released, we post it there so you know exactly when it comes out.
Plus, you can literally talk to us Any time of any day.
Yeah, 24/7.
We are in Discord. You can send us a DM. We will respond. We're in there quite often, and we love talking to the community and hanging out with you guys.
Exactly.
And as always, you can reach out to us on Twitter by using the handle @PodcastRoyale.
Right. And as we always say, the number one way you can help us reach more people is by leaving us an iTunes review, positive, negative, whatever, neutral, doesn't matter. Leaving us a review helps us rise up in the search ranks. And also, if you use any other podcast app that allows you to thumb up, star, comment, rate, review, whatever, please try and do it because that would help us rise up the ranks in those search engines as well.
Boom.
Boom. And a huge shout out to clnsmedia.com for hosting our show on their site. If you would like to hear the most recent episodes, you can find them there. And if you're looking for any new podcasts, you can find them on the site as well.
And last but certainly not least, a huge shout out to Robinhood and Mint Mobile for sponsoring our show.
Are you done? I'm done. I feel like we need to finite and get out of here. Make like a tree and leaf.
You want to eat?
You got any more turkey?
I have a bunch of turkey, dude.
Yeah. I know. I'm really sad that I didn't get any turkey leftovers. That's like one of my faves.
It was good. I'll eat more for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Like I said, get a different type of brother, folks. And that's it. We're done. And we will see you next time for another hodgepodge of everything.
Hodgepodge of everything.
Boom. Bye.
Bye.